Pop in, say hi. If you've never popped into one of my lives before, hi, I'm Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside. And if this is not the first time you've been with me, but the first time you've actually been in this live, Chatters Live, welcome, welcome. This is a place on Sunday nights where, right, we have picked up people along the way, and we have gotten together every single Sunday for years now, and we keep it pretty casual here, right? Things always happen, sometimes there is well, more often than not, there are topics of conversation, and whether it's something going on in the world or whether it's something just going on within this group here. In this moment, we are a fairly small and I would say tight group. I would have to say that for the most part. I have interactions with each one of the people that come and hang out with me on Sunday night. And, it really does make what I'm doing here online not so lonely, right? Not so much something that I'm just doing on myself or doing by myself. It almost feels like it's a group effort, right? Like, I have my own squad that cheer me on, that I'm not just my own cheerleader, right? That right. And we do this, each one of us, or at the very least, we have that opportunity, right? If we're willing to make those moves, if we're willing to commit to a relationship that is different than what you are, right? So when we say that, that means, it's taking on other people's not ideas, not as beliefs for yourself, but out of that common courtesy, those values that we grow up with, right? As long as people are running within our own values, we can be able to interact with such amazing characters. I have been graced in my life to be introduced and to be able to be accepted and move along for a while. And not only move along for a while, but some of these people are dear to me in this moment. And right. And I might not see them even once a year. And yet they're important to me. They're important to my life, and they're important to my movement, and not just my movement. I would like to think that because I wake up and because I have these feelings and because I express them, right? Maybe not to the world, shouting it out to the world, but even just getting up in the morning and, wondering how somebody is doing and sending them a good thought, right? These are things that we can do as actions, as little services, because for the most part, none of us know what we're truly capable of, right? I am, right, baby stepping, dipping my toes into ideas that I have never come across in my entire life. And I'm not being forced to accept them, but I am being invited to experiment and to experience in my own way and at my own pace, to see if maybe it's a flavor that I want to add to my life. It's pretty remarkable, right? It's pretty remarkable. And I have to say, it's pretty remarkable that I have you guys on Sunday nights to kind of hang out with me as I move along. And as you guys move along in your own journey, sometimes, right? All we need is just a little bit of company. We're all doing something different. We all have different goals. We are all different types of people who have different needs, right? different characteristics, and it's amazing to know that we can move with other people who feel the same way in their lives, right, as you do in your life, and right, and even though we're doing different things, because we have some of those same values, that it makes it possible, right, that we can move along a little bit and not feel like we're just doing it all by ourselves. Okay, I don't know where that came from, but there you go. We got show and tell tonight. I'm coming into the comments to see who's all here. I saw Kathy was in there. Andrew, hello, Andrew. Let's see what everybody's saying. Uh, Yeah, you know what, Kathy? Me too. I only got very slight. It was very cloudy, but that cloudy made it, I think, a little bit easier for me to see the eclipse, to see the moon passing through. I'm working on a video tomorrow of my experience, Kathy. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish it tomorrow. I don't know how much. I got a lot of footage. I always take way too much footage, right? But I want everybody to feel like they're in the same experience, right? So I'm going to be looking at all that footage tomorrow, and yeah, getting it downloaded onto my laptop, getting it ready to work with. So at the very least, I suspect that I will have it up sometime on Tuesday. But I thought the clouds helped me a little bit, and my phone, Kathy, Andrew, you guys, I thought, right, because you're not supposed to look at the sun without your proper glasses, not even to do it with sunglasses. But I kind of took a guesstimate where the sun was, right? And I was using the camera as a bit of a buffer between me and the actual eclipse. And I think because I was watching it on my phone, I was able to actually see the eclipse. Now, hopefully, the phone picks up the eclipse as well as I picked it up, right? Because it was really, really neat. For me, it was almost like a shadow going over the sun rather than being blacked out. And it certainly didn't get totally pitch black in any way at all. And I was looking to see if the birds and the wildlife were going to take a standstill, and nothing freaky about them. A lot of people, right, they you get a special date, and right, and it takes just one person to, right, so many people. I'm online and everybody, oh, it's the end of the world. And right, right, we're still here, people. And yes, life might look different, but we look at these events so that we can use them as little stepping stones to make some movement. If we want to, right, credit the eclipse to a movement that we're making, go ahead. If it helps, go ahead, right? But I think, it's in that what is it? Mass hysteria, right? Nobody has the 100% answer, so they all get together and right? And it just compounds into something, right? It's like that. I was saying, it was like that Orson Welles was War of the Worlds we was talking about last week, right? And I thought, yeah, but that was supposed to be right. And the thing is, people actually believed that it was true. Can you imagine? Something like that happened in my life, and I believe that to be true. I don't know if I would want to take care of that business on my own or fight it out, dukes. It would, right? If there was zero chance at all, I would think I would just love just to, right? I don't know. I think I would just hold on right to the very last instant in whatever it is, and just endure whatever I would have to endure, because that's never anything I could ever even contemplate. And yet I've had people, right, that I've known and people that I've cared about. I even my own family, my uncle, right? He didn't stay by choice. And it makes me sad because my dad would have done anything to be able to have an extra 40 years. He would have done anything. Lots of people feel that way. Okay, hiccuping only because I rushed in the door, just got home from work. I went to start my video. My arm is all soaking wet here because as I'm doing my detailing, my arm is sitting in my coffee cup, right? Sopping up all my coffee. Half my cup of coffee's gone. Wearing it in my no, it isn't. I tried to clean it up the best I could as I was trying to get ready for my live, and it's only because I really love this top. I really like it. It's very, very comfortable. I really like it, and I don't want to ruin it with a big coffee stain, which I possibly could have done if I hadn't taken a moment to clean it up. Okay, let's see what's going on. Um. Oh, really? Is that what you noticed? It got quite cold as the eclipse was happening. That is really interesting. For me, what did I notice? I don't know. It was so amazing. Right? Oh my goodness. Just to be in Mother Nature. I was in the city, but I was sitting at the river on a log. It was an amazing afternoon. And then I walked all the way home. It was like, oh my goodness, I walked like 10 kilometers. It was a long, long walk. I didn't mean to walk home because it was already a long day. But I walked home, I walked across the river and there were mansions there, right? And I love architecture. And I don't get to see the mansions very often. It's a neighborhood that's all mansions. So I walked down this road and it was a really nice trail. They have a meridian, and in the meridian, right, because it's the neighborhood, they actually had a trail, right, with the road on each side and trees lining the trail. And every 200 feet or so, there was a bench so you could sit and rest, garbage pails and dog walks. Oh, yeah, spoiled. But they pay high taxes in that neighborhood too. They pay really high taxes, and it's nice that we take care of that neighborhood. And I found it just so enjoyable looking at all the mansions, and a lot of those mansions are being torn down, and because the properties are so big, they're building even bigger mansions, and most of those mansions were built between 1915 and 1920. So they're absolutely, absolutely huge. And I just loved the walk so much. I was out for so long. I was so exhausted. And that night when I went to bed, I just had one Charlie horse after after another, right? I kept getting up out of bed that night and drinking fluids, and I hold on to the back of my chair and I kind of walk in spot in order to get the cramping out of my legs. But I didn't really notice anything about the eclipse except that the clouds, I found the clouds curious because I thought it helped me to see the eclipse a little bit better, right? Because it wasn't so bright and it looked like a shadow going across. So that worked out good for me. And then also the fact, like I said, that I was watching the eclipse through my Google Pixel. Now, I don't know. I Googled to see if there was another way that you can watch the eclipse because I wasn't going to go off and spend any money on eclipse glasses. I didn't even know where to buy them, right? But I would have liked to have looked at the eclipse. So I Googled before I left, what's a good, safe way that I could enjoy the eclipse without right, buying the glasses, and there wasn't anything, right? And then when I was taking sight, so I, because I wanted to make sure I was filming in the right spot. I didn't want to be filming the eclipse and the eclipse is over here and I'm filming over there, right? So I needed to make sure that my camera is in the right spot. And then I got in the right spot and I'm looking at the eclipse on my phone as I'm filming, right? Because I do film with my Pixel 8, which is my phone. It's absolutely the most amazing camera ever, right? The speakers are like stereo speakers. If you're ever looking to get a good phone, right? The Google Pixel, right? The Pixel 8, right? By the time I tell you the Pixel 9 or 10 or whatever the next Pixel is, will probably be out. But I absolutely love my Pixel. It's a great camera. It's a great camera for YouTube. And in all fact, you don't need the fancy gear. When I first started on YouTube, I thought I needed all that fancy gear. I even got lots of it, right? And yet a lot of it I don't even use, right? Because it's not necessary, because technology is getting so good now that by the time you get used to one thing, they're on to the next, right? We got a show and tell. We don't remember. I went into the Chinese auction this month, and I won the kayak. The kayak cost me $87. I got a bag today for the kayak, so that was pretty amazing. And hello, Nancy. I got the kayak home tonight. So my staff charges, well, they're not small. I always have a bag of stuff at the very least, but not as much as I usually get. And I think I'm at that point where I don't need too much. I need two really nice old, like I want old wood ones, and I'm going to paint them in the cream color. I want two old wood chairs for my new dinette set that I bought. It didn't come with chairs, but I think I'd like two small wood chairs, but they have to be solid and in good physical shape, right? And I'll just slap the paint on them. Okay, you guys, are we going to start with the show and tell? Let's come into these comments here. Oh, so you got to see it, Andrew? You got to see the eclipse? That must have been exciting to see a full eclipse. Yeah, that would have been exciting. Okay. Hello, Nancy. We've got a show and tell tonight, you guys. Oh, I got a really cute outfit. It's a little plaid jumper I got, Nancy, for one of your babies. I don't know which one you'll use it for, but it was so cute I had to buy it. Okay, so I had time when I came in the door. I got my cup of coffee and I got my sparkling water. This one is coconut pineapple. I haven't tasted this brand before, but I drink these all the time. I really, really like them. So I got that just in case. I'm trying to keep those fluids going on. I'm being creative. I know coffee dehydrates you, so let's have another sip on that. Mm, yum. Does anybody here, I've always wanted to try. I used to work in restaurants and bars and, the fancy teas. And right? I could never write the, there were so many, like the ginger tea and the green tea and the chai tea and the black tea and the Earl Grey. Oh, I didn't like the Earl Grey. It always tasted like perfume, but I did like the English breakfast tea, and I did like the Irish breakfast tea, but I don't like the herbal teas at all. Is anybody here a herbal tea person? Not like we're gonna oust you or anything. No herbal tea people in my crew. Chai tea. Oh, okay, chai tea. Chai. Is that like green tea? Kathy, is that like green tea? It sounds like a nice tea. Yeah, you don't do those foo-foo teas, eh, Nancy? I call them foo-foo teas only because I don't drink them. And that's not in a judgmental kind of way. It's just because each one of us have different tastes, right? It's like, when I was a little kid, um, I would never eat liver. It was just the most horrid, yucky thing that you could ever possibly think to eat. But my mother was very, very creative in cooking her liver. She would put the liver in the blender with a tablespoon of flour, salt and pepper, and an egg, right? And she would blend it up with an onion, and she'd blend it up, and she'd pour them into the frying pan of oil into circles like pancake batter. It was like pancake batter, and she called them flat burgers. And as kids, we loved the flat burgers. And it was very creative in her way of getting those nutrients into us. I don't think my mother actually did it because it was nutritional. I don't think so. I think probably liver was very, very inexpensive, and but at the same time, right? You're getting a good nutritious meal. We love the flat burgers. I won't touch liver now. Uh-uh. Not a chance. And I do give things second and third tries because I do know taste buds change. I remember just looking at a carrot would want to make me go, right? Just looking at a carrot. Now I love carrots. I was never big on um, uh, cooked vegetables, but I love cooked vegetables. I love cooked vegetables now. Mind you, there are vegetables I won't go near, right? Because I don't care for them, right? But that doesn't mean that they're not good vegetables, right? They might be the most beautiful vegetables that you've ever had in your life, but that are just suited for your taste buds, right? It's like I don't like salt and vinegar potato chips, right? That vinegar burns my lips and makes my lips all chapped. It hurts. It hurts. It's sour. It's right, salt and vinegar potato chips. But then when I sent Nancy her care package, right, she did not like the ketchup chips. And in fact, she was gay. I think she spit it out. I'm not quite sure, but I think Kathy, or not Kathy, Nancy, she actually spit out the ketchup chips. And yet Canadians, ketchup chips are up there. They're one of the favorites when it comes to potato chips. Never again, eh? You didn't like the potato chips, but she did like the hickory sticks. I'll make sure when I send the baby clothes, Nancy, that I'll send you some more hickory sticks because you seem to like those ones. When I was a kid, hickory sticks were one of my favorite potato chips. Actually, my parents were very creative, right? Very creative because I was an obese child. So then when it was treat day and dad would send us for pop and potato chips or right? Comic books or whatever, I would always get those hickory sticks, right? Only because those bags of hickory sticks, right? Those chips are so small, it takes such a long time to finish the bag of hickory sticks. So it was kind of a trick the trick the brain, right? That it's eating lots when really it wasn't eating very much. Not like it helped me in any way, but again, right? Having an obese child, and that reflects on the parents, right? That reflects on the parents. And my parents were, well, I don't know. My father never acted like, that he was embarrassed because I was his daughter. I mean, with my mother, it was a different story. I walked like 20 feet behind her consistently, but my father never ever made me feel that way. Okay, you guys, let's do this show and tell. You like those? Okay, I'll send you another bag, Nancy, when I send the baby clothes. Okay, so the first thing, we're bottle digging and we're rock hounding this summer and spring. So I'm picking up good gloves for the task. Um, Only because I know that when I get down to some of those other places that I've been watching about where I want to go for rock hounding stuff, it's like clay when you're digging for these crystals and stuff. So I got to have good tools and right. It's not like my camera. I can use my phone for YouTube, but yeah, I need proper gear for digging my rock and or my rocks. So and my crystals. So I got a new pair of gloves. They cost me $1.50. So they cost me $1 with my staff discount, you guys. So I got a pair of gloves, right? So the other ones my other ones I could throw away. Um, I got this container because the one I took with my camping trip last year was not no, it was about 3/4 as big as this, and it's what I kept my toiletries in, like my razors and my bar soap and my toothpaste and my shampoo and my conditioner, my face cloths and stuff. And this just easily shuts in. And this is when I do my showers, because they have comfort stations and showers at the camp spot. So when I go, I have my shower bag, and this has its own compartment in the shower bag. So this is a little bit bigger than the one I have now. So I'm going to transfer all my stuff into this one. This was $1.50 with my staff discounts. Oh, okay. You like the containers. Yeah, I like these new style that they clamp on. It doesn't make them spill proof if there's fluid in them. But isn't it nice if you're going to, make some cupcakes or something? Because I always just give them away because I buy them thrifted. They don't cost me anything. So if I have leftovers, and I take the girls' leftovers quite often, and right, and this way I have containers lying around. But yeah, I bought this one specifically for my shower bag for my trip. We're still going on. I found a new spot. We're gonna stop here. We're gonna send some good cheer to the fire truck. I live behind a fire station, so they're gonna get to their destination. It's gonna be a false alarm, and they're gonna have to turn around and go home. Um, there's a place called Bancroft, and it's in northern Ontario, and they are renowned for so many different crystals and minerals. It's higher up in the mountains and stuff, and as many, if not more, crystals than some of the places in the states, right? But there are places in the states that I want to go. Like I said, I want to go do Arizona, but I also want to do New York for Herkimer diamonds, and I also want to do North Carolina, right, for their crystals and their quartz, right? I'm going to have a fun summer. I don't know how I'm going to be able to afford it, but I would like to be on the road. Oh, I came across one of those 1970s Class B campers. I don't remember. I don't know if you guys remember them. They were the ones that had the second level on top of the van, right? And they had big pullouts. They also had windows on the side. Somebody's got one for sale. It's only got 32,000 miles on it. In those days, it was miles, right? 32,000 miles on it. And he's gutted it already because it was supposed to be his summer project. And now he's decided he wants to buy a Class B RV, which is one up. And So this minivan is available, $4,500. What an amazing project that would be for me this summer, right? I could make YouTube videos when I got off work and before I went to work. I could have, right, days where I could do these projects in my van, right? So that by the time we're ready to go on our trip in September, it's all ready to go. And I would have my vehicle. I wouldn't have to rent a vehicle because it would be ready to go. Of course, I would have to have it safetied. And because it's from the 1970s, and even though it's only got 32,000 miles on it, it's going to need stuff, I'm sure, in order to be able to be safetied, right? So I probably, right, thinking, why did I get $4,500? After I just frivolously spent $80 on a kayak, $87 on my kayak. I brought my kayak home today. Okay, you guys, next item. Next item is a pair of winter socks. I am a connoisseur of winter socks. Oh, they're like slippers, you guys. I just love these. So for 75 cents, it can get added onto the collection. I won't be wearing them. I'm out of my boots now. I've been out of my boots all week. So that's it until till next fall. But unless it rains, if we have some big heavy rain, I'll be happy to go out there and use them as my gum boots, right? Okay. So the next thing I got I want to spend a little bit of time in movement. I am not somebody who enjoys and I don't think at my age that I should be doing high impact exercise, but it's very important to stay mobile, right? Right? Andrew knows about that because he has to stay mobile. If he's not mobile, he's going to lock up and all that work that he did, right? So I'm looking for ways, right? I have my walks. I enjoy my walks. I'm a little right little energizer bunny around the house. I'm always doing chores. When I'm at work, I'm going 100 miles an hour. I do know how to relax, but at the same time, right? I thought I bought this. It cost me $2.50. It's a metal mesh. It's made of metal and it's for belly dancing. I thought I'd try belly dancing. It's a very pretty one, very well made, right? Very well made and it's very heavy, very heavy. So I got that for a couple of dollars. So I'm going to wash it cuz there's fabric in there still. It's all crocheted with the metal and the beads. So I'll hand wash that, hang it. It won't take long to dry because it's mostly metal and beads. And then I'm going to do some belly dancing, you guys, to go along with karaoke. You guys, I'm on. Oh, I just got to hold it. That's why. Hello? What testing? Volume. Testing. Okay, it works on a good day. But there's a song, I got to turn it off. There's a song that I want to learn to sing, and it's that song Shivers. I don't know. It's a song by Ed Sheeran. So we all have our karaoke tunes that we can all do really well. Like mine was Country Roads, right? Or Hotel California. I like that one too. But me and my sister saying we were going to go to a karaoke bar, right? Have a girls' night out or something, and we'll all go sing karaoke. And I want to sing that one really, really good. I want to put on a whole show. I want to blow minds, right? And I also want to overcome uh, fears, right? In that singing, uh, whenever I would sing, it was always a shot down. It was always a cut down, right? And so sometimes, when that song is inside of you, there are times when the song is kind of squashed, right? It's kind of buried a little bit. And, part of those lessons are for me to overcome some of these ideas that I had of what I can do and what I can't do. And, right, I think I'd like to sing a tune and be appreciated for it. And if I'm not appreciated for it, that's okay. It won't be the first time that's happened to me, right? And I will understand a little bit better than I did when I was 15 or 16 or 20 years old, right? I do like singing. I was actually talking to my head cashier. He works on Saturdays, and he's very, he's reserved. He's a university student, and we were talking about music, and I says, "Oh, do you like music?" And he says, "Oh," I said, "Yeah." He says, "What kind of music do you like?" And he told me he likes Japanese music, right? And I went, "Oh, right," because I understood, because he's learning Japanese. He's learning to speak Japanese. And I says, "Oh, so I bet you that's a good way to help you get good at learning Japanese." And he says, "Yeah," but he says, I really like the music." And I says, "Oh, do you sing to the music?" And he kind of went, and I says, "You sing to the music, but you don't like people to hear you sing to the music." And he says, "Yeah." He says, "I love music," he says, right? And I think for a lot of us, that is the truth, right? If we weren't embarrassed, or if we didn't think that somebody was going to be irritated, right? Or somebody was going to say something mean, that we would all sing more than we actually do. I'm not a, I'm not going to say I'm not a very good singer, but I'm not very good at holding on to the words of a song. I never have. Once in a while, I will pop into a chorus and let it rip, right? Like, "Oh, I got this," right? And then, yeah, then it fades out to nothing. And then I'm right. And then I go, "Oh," and off I go again. Right. Sometimes you'll find me making up words to songs that are singing, and I'm like those kids when you go to choir in like grade one and grade two, and the whole class is up there, and like three-quarters of them are just mouthing the words, right? Not even mouthing the words, but just opening and closing their mouths, as the other third is singing away, right? It's kind of like me. I was that kid. I really was that kid. Okay, I got a new pair of jeans. I actually got two pairs of jeans for summer. Um, so I am doing the closet. I'm starting the closet at the very least. A lot of donation bags I got coming up. So I'm going to start work on that. So I only have two prerequisites. Last night I did all my laundry except for my bedding, and my bedding I'll do sometime in the next couple of days, right? But what I want to do is I want to edit that video, right? So, and get that posted for you guys. And then I want to start hacking away and switching over my summer closet and my winter closet, and see if I can make some space and get my donation bags ready. And yeah, so that's the plan. And that's the only plan. And it's not very big, but I know editing the video for me it's a little like pulling fingernails. I don't like editing, but I like the idea that I can edit the video that I want. So gotta do it. Nobody else is going to do it for me, right? So I promise, right? If I make that promise, then we know that it will be posted. At the very latest, I'll have it posted on. It all depends. We'll have it posted by Wednesday anyway, because I'm only thinking, because me and my sister, we haven't gone thrifting in the past few weeks. We usually go thrifting on Mondays, right? And last week was the eclipse day, so I wanted to go and hang out with myself and go to the eclipse, right? So we postponed it again. So we might possibly be going thrifting tomorrow. I don't know, right? Alice, if you're there watching on your 70-inch television, get off your bike, go to the TV, and let me know whether or not we are going to go thrifting tomorrow. Okay, also for my camping trip, I got 4 plates. They're 4 plastic plates. This is right. This is replacing the gear that I have because I just have one of them. Right now, I've got 4 of them, and they're good ones. So the other one can be redonated because I got some really nice dinner plates for my camping gear. These cost me $1.50 for the 4 of them with my staff discount. So yeah, I got 4 of them here. Yeah, I got 4. I got 4 of them here. Really nice. I like them. Next, I couldn't say no to this. I don't need it. I probably won't even use it. But it was only 30 cents with my staff card or staff charge. And somebody worked so hard on that. It's so heavy with all the beadwork. And they did such a quality job on it. Good they did such a good job on making it. I thought, well, I think I'll take that and I'm going to put it in my present box, right? Because I have to start collecting those Christmas presents for next year. And I started collecting already. So that will be lovely for one of my nieces. They'll really love that little change purse, right? It was 30 cents, right? That's lovely. Okay, the next thing is a fan for summer, a desk fan. I have an amazing fan, and I broke the blade part on the fan. It broke off. So I'm going to see if I could just use the blade off of this one and fix my fan that I have, because the fan that I have is a very good fan, very high quality. This is just a USB, right? Fan. It cost me like $3 with my staff discount. So I just want the blade part. So I'll check, and if it doesn't work, then I'll use the USB fan. But if I can use just the blades and get that onto the fan that I have, because the fan that I have is a specially made motor, and it's to scale from an actual plane motor. It's actually made by a plane company who makes plane parts, right? Yeah. But it's only a little motor, right? But it's a great fan, lots of power. Oh, you guys, I cannot believe this. I could not believe that this was on the shelf. This is a watercolor with my staff discount, believe it or not. This cost me 70 cents. This cost me 70 cents for this print. It's a print, you guys. All right? A screen print. It's listed on the back. It says, it's for Rose. Congratulations on your graduation. Just a little something for you to celebrate with. Wasn't that lovely that they did that? Right? Wasn't that lovely? And now it belongs to me. You can see that It's titled Treetops. It was only $1. It was only, and I can't resist a good tree. Well, I do. I have to resist the trees. Otherwise, my walls would be covered now. I only want really, really pieces that have a little bit of story. And when I got this for 70 cents, I says, yep, that's a good one, right? I don't think it's a watercolor. I think it's what do you call that? Poster print, ink print where they roll it. I think that's what it is. Maybe it's a watercolor, but it's really nice. I like it. For 70 cents, I worked maybe 5 minutes to earn that. So that's a good one. Okay, you guys know that I want to be prepared for the end of the world, right? When the digital age crashes and we don't have electricity and everything goes to chaos. I'm not wishing it on, but we never know in that future. I worry lots because everybody is so involved online, right? Even me, with the photographs and the landscapes and everything that I do, right? If something were to happen in this digital age, those would be totally wiped out and just gone because there's nothing printable, right? Like I never had any of those photos printed. So it makes me worried that could we be that civilization that, right? Human beings in whatever aspect that they are, what they look like, whatever, down the road would look at this generation and go, what were they all about? Right? They wouldn't even have remnants of our buildings because we build such crappy buildings, right? Architecture now compared to what it was like even 100 years ago, right? Full of steel, but steel is not immune to time, right? Steel will buckle and snap and disintegrate at some point also. Concrete, I think, is the most amazing material, architecturally anyway, that mankind has ever used, right? You just look at some of that ancient art, some of those Roman buildings. Yeah, concrete. And not only that, hydraulic concrete, right? For making dams and stuff like that. Anyway, I got this book on how to make preserves, right? Because if something happens, I won't be able to Google how do I can my pears, right? The only thing I ever canned in my entire life. Well, I watched my mom make jam. That's one thing my mother would allow me to do. She would allow me to watch her cook. She was a very, very good cook. I think she wanted an audience, and I would be the only one that would be interested in learning to cook, only because I was interested in the food. She might let me lick the bowl, right? But I thought it would be amazing that I could properly understand how to can my groceries, make it so that I could have a stockpile of things if I should ever need it, right? I am optimistic that I won't, but we never know. We are making some stupid moves in this world as we speak, right? As we speak, and I just don't get how we can be so idiotically stupid. But that's okay. Well, it's not okay, but it's okay because you are responsible for your actions, and somehow, some way, right? Restitution will be and has to be made. That's just the way it goes. Okay, the next thing I have 50 cents with a staff discount. It was only 30 cents, you guys. This was only 30 cents. It's a little stained glass of a bird. right? Just a little stained glass of a bird. Ooh, where am I? Over here. Yeah, this was 50 cents with my staff discount. It was 30 cents. So, yeah, very, very pretty. Thought for 30 cents that could sit in my window. You guys know I do crystals, and I found this beautiful container here. It's glass and soldered, and right. I really like the how symmetrical and how structural it actually is, and it's got some good weight to it, and it's covered in felt to protect it from scratching the surfaces. And I'm going to put one of my crystals in there for display, so I'm not quite sure where. This cost me 70 cents. Okay, let's come into the comment, have a sip of my coffee for a minute. Yeah, I love my painting. Hundreds of new apartments have been built here in Bloomington in recent years, and I suspect they won't last very long. Bloomington is getting bigger and bigger. I guess, because we see what's going on in some of these big cities and stuff. And, parents worry about the kids being exposed to, right, what's going on in the streets and what's going on with people in there giving up in their, right, in their, well, need to be comfortable, their need to feel safe, right? And it's sad, and but at the same time, it's making it so that other cities will have an opportunity to grow in strength, right? And if you're able to bring on new residents into the area, those are new taxpayers for that state, right? So there'll be more money coming in for infrastructure and, right, programs for the kids, hopefully programs for the kids, right? Okay. I've seen the Life After People episode that show the collapse of the Sears Tower and Jan and John Hancock building in Chicago. Very interesting. I remember seeing that documentary too, Life After People. They did a really good job. I liked how they showed, how the actual Mother Nature overcame these cities. And, Mother Nature will always take care of itself in the end, right? It will always recover. Mankind is what we got to worry about, you know, even for myself. I was unintentionally, uh, I'm motherless. I didn't have any children myself, and that wasn't my intent to go through my entire life without children, right? But it happened because of, well, the way I grew up, my mindset, that relationship with my husband, and those agreements that we make. And it didn't wasn't for the lack of trying also, and just the way it turned out. But it wasn't my intent, and now I'm not able to contribute to evolution, but grateful because, right, mitochondria is passed down from mother to daughter, that I have a niece with the possibilities of the same mitochondria as me. But, right, it would have been amazing to have children. I was actually watching a little documentary on women over 40 who are having children. And it is quite common now for women in their 50s and 60s to have children, to have their babies. And I have no qualms with that, because any way that we can bring, children into this world, that's got to be a good thing. That is our movement forward, right? I would hate to think that unintentionally, right? That we go extinct. Yeah. Okay, back into the comments. I like to imagine my own town as unoccupied and nature reclaiming it. I figure it would take 6 months for there to be a noticeable difference in some areas, the areas with trees and grass. I agree with you, Andrew. It wouldn't take long for our roads here, our fields, our farm fields, because remember, up until the 1970s, we were 80% agricultural here in Manitoba. So there wasn't much in the way of city life at all unless you came into Winnipeg. Brandon also is our second biggest city. We have a few cities in Manitoba, not nearly as big as Winnipeg, but they are cities nonetheless. Okay. Was late coming here. Oh, hi, Owen. I already live in a ghost town, lol. No need here to wait till life after people. Oh, Nancy, you and your sense of humor. And it's black sense of humor. Nancy is telling kind of a truth, right? She's trying to say it in a humorous way, but I have conversations with Nancy and she's expressed to me how bad it actually has gotten in her own town of Seattle. I've been to Seattle myself, beautiful city, and Nancy is experiencing something in the city that she lives in right now that makes it so that, well, like Andrew said, that maybe people might want to pick up and move somewhere else. And I do believe I've heard Nancy say just the same in her desire to move along, right? I know her disappointment in what's happened to her city, and she truly did love Seattle, right? Nothing is unsolvable or unresolvable, right? So possible that things will get better, right? So it's all going to be in our choices, and we got to give it a little bit of time for people to make some decisions in what they're going to do about this. I don't know. It might be a Trump problem. Right? He always seems to come in and fix these great big huge problems. But the reason he's able to do that is because he's disrespectful to law. He does what he feels is right, what he wants to do, and he doesn't give that respect to government and other parts of well, I would guess, to legislative, right? Okay, I got two pairs of earrings. Got a little orange pair, and then I got a little red pair. If you know me, you'll usually see me matchy matchy. I only wear stretchy bracelets and earrings. I don't wear jewelry around my neck other than my house keys. Um, uh, I'm not big on jewelry at all. I never even wore my engagement ring, but I think that was because I lost it 2 weeks after I was given my engagement ring. I lost it. I left my garbage bags in my house for like 2 months, and I went through them like every couple of days. I have no idea where I lost my engagement ring, but I did lose my engagement ring. But I do stretchy bracelets and I do earrings, but you'll usually see me, right? I match the earrings. You can see I'm wearing little green ones here to match the my top, right? So I usually will do that with my earrings. So I wear quite a bit of red. Red is one of my favorite colors, and I do like a pretty earring. Yeah. Okay, are we getting down there? Oh my goodness, we still have stuff in here. Well, it's a good thing I bought these. I bought 2 sandwich plates, the Corrals. This is my everyday wear. I buy the fancy dinner plates, but I don't use the fancy dinner plates myself. I just collect them. I hoard them. Well, I don't hoard them. I'm saving them to do place settings to sell, or I'm going to sell them for a wedding reception along with my milk bottle collection, right? Which I thought would make really nice centerpieces for a wedding. But I usually, for myself, I usually just use the Corel dinner plates. They're easy to clean. They're lightweight, right? So we'll just put that there. I'm going to dig in here. Oh, okay. So what I got here, you guys, I'm just going to pull it out. Got 2 things. So the first thing I got is a book. It's called Animals of Manitoba. And it lists with a drawing every single animal in Manitoba. So I thought I would give that a gander to see what kind of things that I could come across in my travels. I have come across a few different, well, lots of different animals. There are like a bull snake. I would never want to come across a bull snake. There are bull snakes here in Manitoba. I heard there were rattlesnakes, but in this book, when I looked at the snakes, I didn't see the rattlesnakes. So I don't think the rattlesnakes are native here. They may be here and there, but I don't think they're actually native part to Manitoba. It's just way, way too cold here, right? Mind you, we do have the garter snake capital of the world. Nowhere else in the world has more garter snakes than we do. All in one spot too. You guys know that I collect birthday cards and get well cards and stuff. So when the nice cards come in, I buy them. And especially when they're like brand new in the package, right? And these cards would be like $5-6 if you had to buy them new. Like, look at this one, brand new. It's like a farm field with a big storm going on, right? And if I want to write somebody a little short note and send them some best wishes or something, I keep these in my shoebox. I have a shoebox full of cards. So I put them in my shoebox so that they're available to me. This is almost like the one, right? Look at that one. Look at that one. Isn't that gorgeous? Kind of like. Let's do a little comparison. See how similar they are. Pretty neat, eh? Pretty neat. Yeah, so this is the actual painting, and then this one here is a card. I love this card. Yeah, I could be sitting at that ledge of that little rock seam there, my feet dangling in the water, right? Yeah. So there's a place in Ontario, and I thought it might be a very nice place for me to possibly retire. It's in northern Ontario, but there's a lot of rock hounding out there. And I think as I slow down, when I do go into retirement, it's a long ways away, but when I do, it'd be really, really nice to live somewheres where I could really, truly enjoy one of my hobbies, right? Yeah, I live in the next province over, but that doesn't mean anything because, uh, you know, Manitoba, you could probably fit 4 or 5 states in, right? That's how big our province is here. It's not like you could just hop in the car and go drive to the next province. It just doesn't work that way. I think the last time when I went to Toronto, it took me 3 days to drive to Toronto from Winnipeg, right? So it looks a lot closer than what it actually is. Okay, let's dig in here. Well, you guys know I'm a sucker for wood. I thought, what a nice little stand this is. What a nice little stand. What a nice little piece of wood. I'm a sucker for wood. I love wood. So this is going to come home and it's going to be the stand. Probably I'll use it for my phone, or I'll use it for my camera, which is my phone. Or my glasses. Maybe it'll sit on the end table, right? Maybe it'll sit on my dining room table. I don't know. But I have it right now. I have it with me now. So I can decide later what I want to do with it. So it's a nice little piece of burl that's been finished off. So that came home for me, and that was $1.25 with my staff discount. That was $1.25. That was a good deal, right? I didn't spend that much. My staff charge wasn't very much this month at all. Okay. I've got the Marilyn Monroe Cream Chic, right? I had to have these. They're so in the style of my apartment, right? And so, well, and even if I wasn't in this apartment, somewhere else, this is my style for decoration. It's kind of a mid-century Marilyn Monroe kind of cream chic. And so, yeah, I grabbed these. They were 30 cents each. 30 cents each with my staff discount. These have got to be worth $20 each. At least they've got to be worth $20 each. Yeah, they even haven't, I think they're even like a Kia style or something. They're really, really nice. Yeah, for 30 cents, for 60 cents, for sure those could have come home with me. Okay, I needed a new spatula. I broke my spatula. So this was a good one. It was 75 cents. It was 75 cents, but it's a good spatula. I needed a new spatula. Like I said, I broke mine. We're getting close, you guys. Here's a good one. I got a little speaker for my laptop here. It's not enough sound. The laptop you're meant to have speakers, right? Or use the headsets with these. So I got this little Samsung speaker, and this cost me $2 with my staff discount. It cost me $2, right? And I'm sure I've got that. Oh yeah, that's just a micro. So I have a cord for that too. And super easy to do. It's just a plug and play, right? And it's perfect for my desk. Okay. I have two more items. I have one over here and this one. This is just a kitchen sink stopper, right? It's got a magnet in it, and it's just to plug up my sink for when I wash dishes. It was only 30 cents with my staff discount. So I grabbed this. I needed it for my kitchen sink. I got one more thing, people. Let me show it to you. Oh, I'm feeling my age today. Oh, this was a week of Charlie horses. I bought this, you guys, for my wall. See if I can get it up a little bit closer so you can see. It's metal work. Maybe you can see it better if I pull it this way. And it's for my wall. I don't know where I'm gonna put it, but like I said, I didn't buy it for this. I'm not buying any of this stuff for this apartment now. I'm just, as the things that I want come into the store, I have to get them while I can have them, because I won't have that job forever, right? That job was not my forever job. It's a great job. Don't get me wrong. I love my job. I love the company that I work for. and I love the girls that I and the boys that I work with. They take good care of me, and I would like to think that they think that I take good care of them too. But also that whole community, that whole neighborhood that frequent our store, right? And you know, I won't be there forever, right? Not with my goals, not with my dreams, and not with my expectations that I have to be the evidence. I suspect that things will change for me sooner than later, optimistically, right? You want to get settled in so we can enjoy that rock hounding. Okay, you guys, let's see what's going on in the comments. Did you guys like my staff charges this week? It wasn't very much. I didn't have much in the way of spending money because I am putting away. I'm working on getting the teeth done. And that's going to cost me quite a bit. So, and nobody else is going to take care of those bills, right? I'm not marrying someone so somebody can pay my bills for me. I am perfectly capable of taking care of myself, right? I used to say, if I ever got married again, I would just want to get married, so that somebody would pay half my mortgage and half my house bills, right? That it was less of a burden financially on me, that I might be able to create a little bit of a life for myself. Wow, since then, right? I've become a little bit ambitious. I'm not even sure if it's ambition, but because I so know, right, the direction that I'm going in, that it just seems the next, right? Just the next step, just the way it goes. Okay, let me see. Andrew says our mall here in Bloomington has a lot of empty store spaces, but there's a really busy Target that may be part of keeping the mall open. Isn't that interesting, Andrew? Target came to Canada about 10 years ago. They spent so many millions and millions and millions of dollars because they were not didn't want to do a soft opening. They went and built these great big Target stores all over the country and opened them up. And within two years, they shut them all down. Yeah, Target didn't catch on here in well, at least here in Manitoba it didn't catch on. I think here in Manitoba, Winnipeg, we had a couple of Target stores. Yeah, they did very, very poorly. What we do miss here is our Zellers and our Kmart. Did they have Zellers or Kmart in the States, you guys? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, we really liked our Zellers and we really liked our Kmart, but those phased out too and went out of business. And then, yeah, it was mostly the big department stores like the Hudson Bay and Eaton's, and even they're gone now, or pretty much, right? Now it's pretty much an online brand. The Bay and Eaton's is gone now. Can't expect things to last forever. Things are in constant state of change. Oh, okay. So you guys do, yeah. It's Target didn't do well here. They spent so many millions. I don't know how much it costs to make a Target store, but I would think probably $3 or $4 million anyway, plus all the stock in that. Because when they shut down, they sold all their shelving and all the lifts and all the shopping carts, the lighting, everything. Yeah, they practically had to give it all away, right? Oh, so you guys had Kmart too. Yeah, Kmart's been gone for years here in Manitoba too. Everything is just moving online, isn't it? Pretty soon, the idea of walking into a mall is going to be obsolete. You see that already, being fans of urban exploration, you guys, right? As fans of urban exploration, you see these guys out there and they're exploring the abandoned malls. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. When I was a little kid, loved the malls. Just absolutely loved the malls. The big picture windows at Christmas time at Woolworths. Yeah, amazing. Oh, Kmart was owned by Sears. I didn't know that, Andrew. I forgot about Sears, but you're right. Sears is right up there with Hudson Bay and Eaton's, right? Those are right. Sears was a big store. Sears actually sold houses. You could buy a house and they would bundle it all up and put it all the bits and bytes, all the wood and nails and glue and roofing and everything, and they would put it on a train and you would pick up your house at the train and take it to your land and build yourself a house. Yeah, out of the Sears catalog, you could order your house. Yeah, actually, there's a few of the houses that I explored on my channel that were actually Eaton's homes. I don't know if they were Sears homes, but I'm pretty certain there were two of them at least that were Eaton's homes that you would buy just in a package and you would build it up on your land, right? What? Is there no more Macy's? Is there no more Macy's, Nancy? Wow, that's crazy. Macy's. That's been around for a long, long time, right? Since Miracle on 34th Street. Right? The Macy parade. Oh, that's sad to hear. Things are changing, right? And we have to adapt and conquer alongside these changes to the very best of our abilities, right? All of us, we do not want to be left out in any way. Macy's and Penny's. Oh, Penny's. There's another one, Andrew. Penny's. We never had pennies here in Manitoba, but lots of the ladies, and my sister was one of them, her and her friend from work would take trips across the border and they would go down to Fargo and they would do shopping in Fargo for a couple of days. They would spend a couple of nights in a hotel or a motel and they would do grocery shopping and clothes shopping and stuff. Because for every day, I think every day that you stay in the States, you're allowed a certain amount of money worth of goods. When I go into the States, all those goods are going to be the receipts from the crystals that I pick up, right? Because I won't be able to bring any crystals back to Canada um, because, right, they've been salvaged off the property of the United States. So I have to do all my crystal hunting on private land or through fair, and there are a few places where you just go to the nearest post office and you could buy your pass into a mountain or into a field or something at the post office and you could spend the afternoon that way, and then when I come across the border I would just hand in, right, that receipt that I got at the post office to prove that I paid for my crystals, or at the very least paid for the privilege to dig my crystals. Right? You didn't. And I remember that too. Actually, that's funny that you say that, Kathy, because my passport came in this week. I got a 10-year passport. I heard the government is really doing an incredible hike on passports. So it was good that I did my passport when I did do it. So I am good till 2034. My passport is good for. So I'm doing at least one trip. I this week even I was contemplating and thinking and trying to figure out, like I always do, right? How do I get on the road permanently, right? and maybe not permanently because I've always got to have a place that I can call home. So I would probably, either keep this place and then be on the road full time. And then when I come into the city to visit my sisters or, right, whatever I'm doing, I love Manitoba, right? So, I will want to visit here, but who's to say? Do I want to live here or do I want to be on the road? Or do I want to have a base camp and be on the road? Or do I just want to live somewheres and then just do lots of traveling? I can do that. I can do that too. It's something to think about. And I am thinking about it because I realize what you think about is realized. And that's exactly what I want to happen, right? So we'll see. We'll see how the next couple of years, how it goes for me, right? See what opportunities come across my path. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see what's coming. Ah, Kathy says, I remember the good old days when we didn't need a passport, right, to get into the US. Yeah, I remember that too. Oh my goodness. And that was just before 9/11, wasn't it? That they I think you did have to have your passports even before then, but they weren't sticklers. They weren't sticklers about it like they are now. And they didn't have all the securities and the double checks and everything, right? Okay. Oh, and saying he still has Macy's in his local mall, but Sears is gone. Right? Sears is gone. Yeah, so that is really interesting. My sister collects the Macy's teddy bears. She has a great big metal knight suit, like an actual suit of armor from a knight, and it stands on a pedestal. And then during the holidays, she dresses the knight up in different characters. So she's got Halloween. She lets the crow hang on its shoulder, parrot, and hangs all her Halloween decorations off it. Christmas time, she surrounds it with her Macy teddy bears, and again, she has animals that she clings to the shoulders and stuff, and she decorates it. Yeah, I forgot that she had that knight, that suit of armor. Yeah, it was pretty. It was pretty cool. Ah, because of the 9/11. Ah, yeah, so it has been a while. And that's yeah. Understandable, right? Some aspects I believe that we do have to keep ourselves safe. Have to say, I was talking to a gentleman at the bus stop Saturday morning, and he was a really, really nice guy. He lived in the building that I live in, but there's over 200 people who live in this building, so I can't possibly know them all. Actually, I don't even know any of their name. Very few of them I know their names anyway, because I'm not one to socialize. But I am somebody who does like to have chit chats. And if somebody's talking to me, of course I'm going to carry a conversation. It's only common courtesy to give that person that respect if they brought the courage to start the conversation, right? What skin is it off my back to carry on in that conversation? But he was talking about the government and how he's on social assistance and how he wants more money and how he can't survive because he doesn't have enough money and how the government's supposed to give him more money and stuff. And I says, oh, social assistance? And he says, yeah. I says, well, how long have you been on social assistance? He says, 25 years. I said, you've been on social assistance for 25 years? I says, I've been on social assistance myself, but I've always gotten off of it within a week or two. It was only like those desperate last, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no groceries. How am I going to pay my rent? And you look for help. And, I have gotten help from the government that way, but I would never think to sit on that for 25 years, right? And I says, oh, I says, well, I says, so you weren't, it wasn't disability that you got, right? Because it was social assistance. If it was disability, it would be out of a different fund, right? So there are people out there who do take, and I'm not saying he takes advantage, right? But he doesn't take into consideration how well the government takes care of the vulnerable, how many opportunities there is to get help when you need it, right? That there's always somebody out there willing willing to help, but we're not even willing to help ourselves to alleviate that burden from the government. I'm very grateful to be a Canadian. Every single person from the 1800s and early 1900s who came to Canada came from some kind of trauma, whether it's like potato famine, whether it was being persecuted in the Ukraine. And yes, right, we settled a lot of Ukrainians here in the late 1800s and early 1900s because persecution was still going on in that time, that we had to learn to overcome, because there wasn't any time for grieving in what we lost or to contemplate, right, what we were getting ourselves into. We didn't have time for that. It was just like, oh, okay, let's get to work, right? And we survived off the kindnesses of our neighbors and people we didn't know for our very own survival. So grateful. And I'm sure the families of those people that came in the late 1800s and early 1900s, what would their life have been right now if that opportunity hadn't crossed the paths of their fathers or grandfathers, right? That each one of us is privileged to be here, but it's not like we didn't come with baggage, right? It's like going into a new relationship. You go with baggage, you go with the problems, you go with the heartbreaks, you go with those unkindnesses, right? And it all comes with you into the next relationship. So those problems came into, right, the next state of living in that journey of people who had to make these difficult decisions to come to this country, right? And it was hard. And if you wanted that free land, you had to work for it. It wasn't truly free, right? And on top of that, there was incentives for the wives, the women, to have babies. If you had like 10 babies, they would give you $1,000. And $1,000 was so much money in those days. And you had, right, families of 10, right? And then even higher than that, because they would adopt children into the family, because there were lots of Irish and Scottish children that came over from the orphanages and stuff from, right, from England and Ireland and Scotland, and they were settling in. So there is a lot of generational trauma that has been choked down, that has been bottled up, right? That even though grandparents or, right, or fathers, mothers didn't want to discuss what happened in the old world, they still brought it in the lessons that they picked up, the lessons that they received, the lessons that they're living by, and they passed that on to their kids. And these problems are now surfacing, right, in this generation. The problems that I had as a child are very prevalent now in this day and age, right? When I was a kid, I didn't know anybody that was going through what I was going through, or what I was going through in comparison to what the kids are going through today, right? It's tough. It's a tough, right? I sure would love to see mindset get into the schools. I really, right? You know, you don't have to have any specific idea politically, socially, religiously. right? That if we could just move with the same values, that maybe we could get some healing done, right? As a whole, because we have these problems now in this country because we are just the second and third generation to this well, it's not new land, is it? Because the indigenous were here first, and that's another story for another day, right? We're not here to stir the pot, but right, to give that recognition at the very least when we talk about the traumas, right? We talk, and it gives you maybe a little bit of compassion for those difficulties that we might have had in our own history. But I am grateful to be a Canadian. I am grateful to be in this country. I'm grateful for my grandfather in making, both my grandfathers, in making that decision to come to North America. That must have been a pretty big, scary thing to do. And yet, here we are, right? So it's up to us, right, to pick up those ashes and build from that, right, in our choices. Okay, let's take a look at these last few comments here. Oh, yeah, I think the government here in Manitoba, I think they do a decent job. They're not perfect. They make lots of mistakes and they have lots of problems, but I think, for me as a recipient to some of those kindnesses that the government have divvied out, I am grateful, and I do believe that there is some credit due there, some recognition that is due, right? Right, because there's only backlash towards the government. There isn't a thank you. There isn't a, oh my goodness, they thought of us. Like yesterday, we each got $150 if you made less than $30,000 a year. They gave us $150 yesterday. They deposited it to our accounts, and that money is supposed to be used to help off cost our groceries a little bit, right? It's only a token, but you know what? There are a lot of people in this country making under $30,000 that they gave $150 to. And, it's a token to say, hey, we haven't forgotten. We're all going to get through this together, right? Okay. Yeah. But again, we all have different lives. We all live in different places and we all have different problems. And we all get to vote in those stinkers that run the show. And if you're lucky, right, it's a treasure and not a stinker. Okay. I was denied as 5 times before I had to go to court to get my benefits, and the illegals get help instantly. What's wrong with that picture? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Nancy. I don't follow what's going on with the illegals and stuff, but I do understand everybody does need help. But you can't take from Peter to pay Paul, right? Make sure Peter's okay before you start divvying anything out to Paul. This is the way I feel about it, right? We are new we're a new continent, we're new countries, right? And it's going to take us a while to, right, do a little bit of course correction in some of those understandings and some of those, right, possible mistakes that we might have made along the way. Okay, you guys, we are going to call it here. I am officially on my days off for the next few days. I'll be back tomorrow with What's My Good Cheer. We'll be picking a new word tomorrow. Hopefully, it's a nice, light, happy, easy word to work with next week, but we won't know until we pull it. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, I'm gonna put my little pile of treasures away. I'm really, oh, there was one other thing I didn't show you. This. I like cats. This is a little bit different for me, but I thought it was very I thought it was a very nice hat. I when I grabbed it, I thought, oh, Nancy likes her hat. She might like that. She might like that hat. So I grabbed the hat because it was only 75 cents. But it's a pretty nice hat. I kind of like this hat. Yeah, I kind of like that hat. Maybe Nancy won't get it. We'll see. Okay, you guys, that's it for tonight. If you want to pop in tomorrow, we'll be going live again. I don't know when, but we will. Wish me luck in editing my video and getting my spring closet switched over. I've got 3 days to get it done. Those are my only two things that I set to chore to get done. So, right, there's something wrong if I don't get that done. Okay, you guys, that's it for tonight. I'm going to drink my coconut pineapple sparkling water and taking a lesson and get in my pajamas. Have a great night.